Alright, and welcome back. The next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to begin to develop or look through one of my lessons. So what you're currently looking at here is this is the My Curriculum button, and you're going to see the unit of study. So when I look at this, the nice thing about this is if you want to know what you're teaching, and someone's saying, well, how am I going to know what I'm teaching and when? This just gives yourself or an administrator a great way of knowing exactly what's going on in your classroom. So looking at this, you could see that uh, when it comes to the bullying lessons for grade 4, we're working on Courage for this month. Um, and for math, the school district's telling me, because this is uh, the scope and sequence for 4th grade mathematics, it says that I'm supposed to be doing geometry and measurement. For the language, I've been doing NJ Ask Writing Prep all year long, and I should be working on myths and legends. For 4th grade, I am doing chapter 6 and chapter 8, and then test prep. So what it does is it really gives you an idea of exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So if an administrator wanted to know what you're doing in your classroom, this is a great way to, screenshot it and send it to them so they know exactly what they should be seeing for this week. Um, but what we're going to do is we're going to click into mathematics. And when I click into math here, this is mine, not the district's. You could see that a whole bunch of chapters are going down the left hand side. And they don't go in chapter order, and they don't need to either. But the best feature that they have here is this is your scope and sequence. This tells you the duration in which you're supposed to be teaching those chapters. Now, you'll see that some of them will actually overlap. Like test prep technically should be the full length because you are working on making sure that you're uh, covering tested material all year long. And it's not a huge deal that it's that long, but it's more importantly that it's in there, and that when I click on it, you're going to see, the things that I'm using for my test prep. So I am currently uh, finishing up on geometry, and what I've been doing with geometry is I've been trying to break up some of the weeks. So not that I'm teaching geometry this duration, but I'm only teaching, geometry pretty much every Friday. I'm trying to cover something new because in 4th grade there's just so much vocabulary, it can become extremely overwhelming for any student. So that's one of the things that I'm doing. Chapter 6, multiplying two-digit numbers, you can click on that. And once you click on that, you're going to see a lot of information come up. If you've never used Rubicon, this thing's going to be completely blank. There's going to be nothing in this. And that's okay because it takes a good amount of time to fill in this. And the first thing that you're going to see coming across the top of this is something that we all are very aware of, the standards that we're teaching. And the one thing that I've been working on this year is starting to put in the Common Core standards and change up what I'm supposed to be teaching and getting rid of some of the things that I'm not supposed to be teaching. So say lesson 6 in chapter 6, uh, I'm not supposed to teach it because the Common Core tells me not to. So if I want to add a new standard, I'm going to click on Add New, and you're going to see that in video 1, this is very similar to what, I was clicking on when we saw the standards. Let's see if I can scroll up. So, yeah, see it's following. I believe it was a references button. And I don't even have to say what I'm actually doing because once I find it, it's just going to stay this way for me. But say it was numbers and operations. It's going to update. It's going to tell me every single standard that I need to be teaching. Some of them will actually give you examples, which I think is great. Another thing that you could use if you're looking for examples is the Common Core has actually developed a why am I blinking? And the Common Core has actually developed an app that you can use, and when you click on the the standards, it will come up with 3 or 4 different examples for what you could use and what specifically hits that standard. And then all you're going to do is you're going to click the ones that you're going to be teaching, and then when you hit save, they're going to just unload right into this and draw a line between, one standard to another. So you can see that this is numbers and operations, and then this is operations and algebraic thinking. So if you keep scrolling down, you're going to see enduring understandings. And really the enduring understandings, what I've been using it for is what you've used in your lesson plans pretty much since I've started, and what every teacher has taught me. This is where you're going to start your SWABAT. So students will be able to, what are they going to do in this unit? And then for what I put in this one is they're going to be able, basic facts, place value patterns. You're going to, make an organized list, expanded and standard multiplication algorithms. So what they're going to be doing, this is what needs to be in here. And that's what I've used this one for. On the NJ DOE website, you can actually click into that, and you can find the essential questions that you're supposed to be teaching. But what I've done is I've kind of, found out what I'm supposed to be teaching in this chapter and created my own essential questions. I just highly recommend that if you're writing your own essential questions, that you look up exactly what needs to be in an essential question. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to upload a link to this video, or upload a link next to this video, so that you can click on it and it will give you an idea of what needs to be inside of an essential question. But very basic, how can you multiply using mental math? It doesn't get into, extreme specifics, but it does cover, this question does cover what I'm going to be doing over here. If you scroll down, you're going to see content. What I've used content for, and all the videos that I've seen through Rubicon, they said this is where you really want to dump a lot of your vocabulary. You can add your links. So if you have, some type of vocabulary that you're going to give your kids on a worksheet, I would just type in the basic vocabulary here and then upload the document here. Because once you upload the document, it's there for you and you can find it. I do want to show you, how I'm using, or how our 4th grade is using the collaborative differentiation here. So what we've done is we've tried to break down, thank you Miss McClurg here, we've tried to break down our day-to-day lessons. So if you came in, day 1, day 2, day 3, what should you see in our classroom? Now, this is the one point of Rubicon that's difficult is, it doesn't tell you what you're doing each day. Well, we're not putting specific days, like, March 5th, but we are saying, how many days should it take for us to teach it, and more importantly, what are we teaching on each day? So next year, if I wanted to use this, it's still saying it's still saying that it's going to take me approximately 11 days. Is it going to take you longer? Well, it depends on your kids. And that's really what it comes down to. We have to teach so that they understand, but at the same time making sure that we cover all material that we need to. So the collaborative differentiation here could be longer than 11 days, but what we're saying is, in a perfect world, it's going to take us 11 days. Maybe we might have to get into small groups or, to make sure that certain kids understand everything that's being taught. Um, that's really all I wanted to cover in lesson or in the video in the second video. Um, you'll see that the skills are really taken right out of the book. There's no special way of writing down the skills other than you know each lesson in the book actually will tell you what skill it is. So it's not like you're reinventing the wheel. But if you're working without a book, then this is going to be your skills should be matching up with your day-to-day lessons here. Now, is this the only way of setting it up for these things? No. I've looked at other individuals' lessons, other colleagues, and there's what they're doing in enduring understanding and skills and content is a little bit different, but for the most part, most of it is the same. The one thing that we've tried to do is come up with a way of putting our day-to-day lessons in here, which I think is a must, and definitely helpful for the upcoming years. All right, I'm just going to show you one that I've created that has very little information in it, so that you have an idea of what you're going to see. So if you click on the districts, fourth grade math, and you're going to see the scope and sequence, the way in which that they're, the recommended way of teaching all this material. I click on chapter 6, and you're going to see that this is pretty much blank. So you got to put your own, twist on it. So you don't have your day-to-day lessons. You have your vocab, which is in your content. You have the skills, literally, chapter by chapter. It tells you exactly the skills that you're going to do. You have your enduring understanding, and then, you can write your own essential questions, or, maybe you're doing it the exact same way as your colleague, and you can start from theirs. And then all you would do is you can actually copy what they're doing. My only recommendation is just ask before you do it. Alright? If you need any help, shoot me an email. Take care.